guys, welcome back to another episode of the Corner Flash Podcast. It's your boy John. And welcome back to another weekend, guys. Guys, I don't have any story for y'all this week. I had no puns. It's all business because it's business end of the season. And this is the last stretch before next international break, which it feels like it's been such a long time. So much football has happened. And to do that with me, I have Brandon. Brandon, what's good, my guy?
I'm good. Hello, everyone.
Fujil, what's good, my guy?
Try my best to duck the recording, because it's been a terrible couple of days. But so we go. So we continue.
And making back-to-back appearances. We have the man himself, Shivs. Shivs,
What's up, guys? None. On the flip side of Virgil, I'm ecstatic right now. Life can be better.
I think this week, Shiv's name, they're calling the group chat more than any other week, dog. For both good and bad reasons. Alright, guys, so as we said, we're going to get
Rumor
straight.
has it that Shivs will be doing a Fede Valverde next week. Hat-trick of
Hey!
appearances.
That is the plan, at least. That is the plan. Alright, guys, so the plan is obviously to do our weekend roundup. At the back end of this, we're going to review the Champions League action from last week. Then we actually got, UCL specialist, the man who's seen UCL wins more than anybody else. Apparently, allegedly, that's all he does watch. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And we're going to preview what we think this week's games are going to go. Guys, last week, the response to the pod was actually amazing. Thank you guys so much. If you guys are new to it, please subscribe, share it with somebody. And yeah, we're going to show the road. First we're going to talk about Liverpool hosting Tottenham. And let me tell you, it done bad enough to score only one against Tottenham. It even worse to many team that Tottenham managed to pull a point from. 5 marks for the following question, guys. Please raise your hand if you're ready to answer. Who wants to guess the last team that Spurs managed to pick up a point against? Show of hands. Virgil, who was the last team they managed to pick up a point against?
Well, Man City, the team that just love to keep giving. Team that love to keep giving.
Virgil, who you think gonna be happier if Spurs get relegated? Me or you?
Oh, me, for sure. 100% me.
6 points moving forward.
I need that. I need that in this season. If I was to win this league, I need that.
So, guys, yeah, as you guys all know, Dominic Szoboszlai scored his 4th free kick for the season. And on the flip side of it, I saw 4th on the screen. I think it's 5th in all comps because he scored the one against Marseille. But 4th Premier League free kick of the season, obviously, a fantastic return, right? And there was chances. Gakpo hit the post. Then it got very stretched. Chances at both ends. Richarlison, on his 5th attempt, managed to score a very, 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 very late equalizer to both stop their rot as well as put a dent in Liverpool's hopes for Champions League football. And so we're going to get into it right now. Brandon, why don't I start with you, bro? What is your overriding thoughts from the encounter at Anfield?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, some of you all may not believe me, but I ran into Richarlison's stylist over the weekend, and I asked him, what was his biggest advice that he gave to Richarlison over the past month or so. I told him, don't take off your shirt when you score the equalizing goal. Keep your shirt on, and that's exactly what he
Correct.
did. And we were talking in the group, and Richarlison just had chance after chance after chance,
Yeah,
and it was just inevitably going to happen. And I don't want to get too much into it right now, but I just want to say, boy, Liverpool have been so disappointing for the entire season. Like, I don't have another word to describe them other than disappointing. And in fact, I don't even know if I want to watch another Liverpool game unless I really think the other team is going to slap them or something, because it's so dull sometimes, boy. Honestly.
I mean, look, nobody can give you a wrong for that. I mean, it really has been. It has pretty bad. I mean, to tell you how contrasting this season has been, right? Obviously, they went in, there was overwhelming favourites with the 500 million that they spent coming off of winning the league last year. To the point that we are getting quotes from the Dominic Szoboszlai saying that we have to wake up because if we carry on like this, we should be happy with the Conference League. I don't know why this is happening. I honestly don't know. And imagine that. Imagine that I truly believe, guys, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, or y'all can tell me if I'm living in the moment, but I do believe that this is the worst title defense that we have ever seen. And like people are gonna point to when it is that Chelsea finished 10th, right? But again, Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong. You signed only two players that window, right? It was Pedro and I think it was Baba Rahman or something like that. Like it was a nothing player. It was literally just Pedro was like the main player that you all signed, right? These guys went out there and spent 500 million and are already on 9 losses for the season with 6 to go, 7 to go. 7 to go, 7 to go, 7 to go, 7 to go. But with a little bit to
It
go again, right? Like we could be reaching some very, very bad levels from these guys. And I mean, I don't know if y'all agree with me or not, but like it generally feels. And I think what I should have done too is that when I did check out back about like losses from winners in the following season, and truthfully, yes, Chelsea's up there with the worst, with also Leicester defense. But like everybody kind of excuse Leicester defense for being what it was, right? But it also feels like Liverpool don't actually win that much games as well. And there are so many draws even amongst us. Like we talked about this draw, there was like the two draws against Leeds and stuff like that. It's just been pitiful. Shivs, as a man who has a very healthy relationship with Liverpool in the past now, right? That's heavy favor you all to be fair. You know. How do you perceive what's going on here with them, boy? It's been bad. It's obviously been bad, but like there's any reason, any explanation you could offer as to why they are where they are.
um honestly, I just think we didn't expect to see Salah regress as much as he did. Coming off of last season, obviously winning the league, he's looked a shell of his former self. I know, obviously, Isaac was one of the big signings. His injury is unfortunate. I think he's out till I don't know when, but that's another unfortunate sign. And Wirtz, I just think with the problem with Wirtz is he tries to be too creative and he's not selfish enough. He doesn't take the shots on. I think there was a chance where he could have tried to find the back post, be like fizzes across and nobody got there. So I just think, the season's basically done. You can't stay waiting for the attack to click anymore. They've had basically the entire season, and I think the coaching is a big issue. He should be getting it right at this time. And yeah, Tottenham, they're just in a horrible rot of form, and Liverpool's the team out to everybody for them to start to try to stop the bleeding and reconsolidate and save the life basically. But yeah, Liverpool, I just think it's on the coach if I'm being very honest with you.
Yeah, I think most people think so. In fact, I've seen a lot of talk that if he does lose or gets knocked out by Galatasaray, that a lot of people think that that might be it for him. That he might get sacked very soon across the international break. That's one we are yet to see. Which in this game though, it did start off a bit cagey, but Liverpool did get the front foot. But as we are seeing across many teams this season, the attacks are struggling. And Gakpo had a really good chance, then score. Rio was actually a really big bright spot for them. But he's a youngster, he didn't have the final product all the way there. And then even when they brought on the big guns with Salah and Ekitike in particular, more players are just wasting their opportunities in front of goal now. And do you think that there is a failure in the what's the word I'm looking for, boy, in the design of the attack then? As to why they can't seem for all the attacking riches that they have to get the goals that they need.
Yeah, because even at the beginning of the season, we had a lot of focus on the lack of recruitment in the defense. But I feel like I should mention, nobody really was expecting Salah to drop off this big. So it also had that the unfortunate injury to Isaac. But honestly, yeah, I feel like they were part during the season during that poor run where they were still trying to figure out the best way for this attack, because they were always trying to find solutions for when Salah does go to AFCON. But even outside
Yeah.
of that, Salah was the biggest talking point, and then even outside of that, we realized it's just way bigger than Salah. You've made a lot of recruitments in the summer, but it honestly just seems that nobody wants to take the reins and be the one and be the main man to to be the one to score the goals. The only person that really has been doing that recently is Soberslai, who is at this point a right back more than anything. So
Yeah,
yeah, it really is really tough, and you really can't, or sometimes you can't really find sympathy too for Liverpool's attack, because as just mentioned in this game, there was so much chances where you're looking at players like Vert, you're looking at Gakpo on them, and they were just not clinical enough. Either they're not taking the chances, either certain players not being selfish, poor decision
yeah,
making. So
yeah,
at the end of the day, you really got to look down as what they really like. What is the coach telling them? What is the mentality of the players? Like, are they not really confident in their finishing? Not really confident in taking those chances? So I feel like it's not really one person or just one person you can really look at when it comes to this problem.
yeah. Diving deeper back into the game, guys. In the game itself, though, I do think that there was some adjustment by Tottenham and to give them some sympathy amidst obviously a very terrible time for them, right? Because, like, look, the reality is that they are very much relegation threatening. In fact, right now, the table sits at they are on 30, Forest on 29, West Ham on 29. And for those of us last week that invested a single dollar in the Wolves stock, well, this is the opportune time for them to try and get a win tomorrow. To try and close that gap, right? But they do need to start to subtly take a point somewhere. And there was a change in system. I do think that Richarlison, as we did point out before, was a threat throughout. And Brandon, I just wanted to ask you, what are the positives that you take from Spurs at Anfield this weekend?
I guess the only positive I could really think of is that Richarlison I seem to found his relegation form when he was at previous clubs. I think that's very good for them. I think that's a very positive sign. But I think the
Relegation
other
at
thing that I
Allison.
thought was most interesting about the game was that I actually thought, like, based on what everybody has been saying after the Atletico game, like I did see a bit of fight today,
Yeah,
and just the fact that Richarlison alone got 6 chances to score, I think like that is that's a kind of a big positive for them in a sense. It's kind of like
yeah,
scraping at the bottom of the barrel right now for Spurs. But the thing is that I don't find they were very impressive, and
no,
I don't see them winning a lot more of these games. The thing is just that I know now that they actually playing and they're trying to get out
yeah,
of this now. Whether they're good enough to do it is a separate question. But at least I could say that I know that they're trying to get out. Yeah, I even thought Javi Simmons was okay when he came on. Like, I thought he added a lot more to the game. He
yeah.
wasn't great when he came on, but I think him coming on, even Kolomoani and saying those fellas came on and they made a big difference. Kolomoani assisted the goal. So I mean, yeah, that's the only thing I could take from the game really. I didn't see really anything tactically that they were doing that was anything special or anything. But just the fact that they're playing for him, I think is a big positive.
No, I think that's a big thing too now because ultimately we saw this week that David Ornstein did tweet out that there is plans to let go go to or get somebody else and after this game, right? And ultimately last week I said that my if I cared, that my biggest concern for Spurs would have been like these fellas don't seem like they had the mentality to fight this thing out. That ultimately, look, we saw what West Ham did this weekend. We saw Forest manager shut out. Like these fellas these teams rather understand the situation they're in and they're ready to fight it out. Whereas Spurs to this point felt more like shell shocked of the situation they found themselves in and kept creeping towards the relegation. Whereas this week, as Brandon just rightly pointed out, it did feel like there was a bit more fight in them to try and get themselves out the rut. And I do think I don't want to read into something that may not be there, but I do think it's something to say that what it is that we are talking about a game where they did show fight, and this could just be coincidence and me making false correlations here. But we saw fight in a game where Romero and Van der Ven didn't feature. Where captain and vice captain, supposed to be leaders amongst all these things, didn't feature. And these fellas really did dig in and playing a decent ball. I thought Danso had a pretty decent game. Um, Although it really had reached a point coming on to the end there where like it felt like anybody was going to score. Brandon, I'll go back to you and then I'm gonna leave the floor open to this, right? Do you think that Hugo Ekitike, and I think I did ask you this like 3 weeks ago, but do you think Hugo Ekitike is underperformed his first season, overperformed, started hot, drifted off. Too much weight placed on
Um,
his shoulder.
I,
What is the feelings around
so,
it? Because he
so
did
yes, I
miss
will answer your question.
a
However, you just reminded
crucial.
me of something that I wanted to say.
Sure.
Um, I thought today was a huge example of how it is be disrespectful to your opponent. I think it was
Oh, 100
extremely
percent.
disrespectful of Slot to not start Salah and Ekitike against this Tottenham team. Whether it would have worked out or not is a different story. But the fact that you didn't start them, for what reason I don't know, because they came on anyway when you was winning the game, which I don't
Yeah.
understand.
That makes no
So
sense.
yeah, and like that, I had a real problem with that boy. And like, I'm not just saying that because I captain Ekitike in my FPL. I'm just not
Me
saying that
too.
because of that. However, however,
I fell for the trap.
it was just so disappointing to see, boy, because you all know how I view the game, right? Like, you had to go out there, get the win as early as possible, and then bring on everybody else. Like, it's not a nothing game. Like, the game matters. The game means something to everybody else. I thought that was a real spit in the face by Stott to everybody who was
Yeah.
watching, to be honest. Um, to answer your question though, I think has he's done exactly what he was brought in to do. And because even if Isaac was fit, I would not have expected Ekitike to be the main man. And the fact that I think he has what, 11 goals for the season so far, and just the fact that, out of all the circumstances and whatever, I think is a okay season. Could he have done better? Yes. From watching him
Hmm.
alone, he should have at least probably five more goals. But
Yeah, yeah,
I guess
yeah.
in the context of everything, I think it's been an okay season. But I do think he could have done probably better. And the price tag is a little bit higher, so maybe you could expect a little bit more. But if we really look at it, not many of the signings have really done well this season. So you know.
Yeah. Virgil, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, because people could say that how he had one eye on the midweek against Galatasaray, why he wanted to rest Ekitike and Salah. But it makes no sense because it would actually make more sense for to have them play, probably have a comfortable lead and then take them off. So as I say, it really was like not really giving a lot of respect to Spurs, even to this point
No,
that
but
you that
Virg,
you
sorry, yeah,
yeah.
not to cut you across, but like as Brandon say, right? It's not like to see Liverpool either meandering in mid-table or so secure in the top four place. And like these
Yeah.
men hunting top four, bro. Like they are still going. Like the truth is, this drop points keeps the door open for Villa. Let me see if Villa get knocked out of Europa in the next few rounds. This still leaves the door open, and okay, they can turn back their attention to the league, and there's still one more spot there. Even if United run away with it, and it does go from under Chelsea to this was unserious. Like regardless, and I know we get to talk about the other things after, but this was severely unserious from Slot.
Yeah, because again, even you're going into a game week where two of your top four contenders played each other, Manchester United, Aston
Yeah,
Villa. So yeah, obviously you say, okay, this is the best time for us, to cover ground, and they really want to be there because we obviously look, everybody who pushing for that top four, top five, it means a lot more for Liverpool. So for them to
yep.
go out in this game and play so with no respect for Spurs and everything, it really just didn't make no sense. And also looking on the Spurs side, to what you was mentioning. Also for Spurs, just like in the City game, they took off Romero. Remember they had injuries to Van de Ven. They took off Romero, brought in
Hmm.
Sarr, and they look at a completely different team. They look so much better. So they had a much better structure and everything. And for Spurs, it seems that for regular teams, they would be trying to get into Europe, and they feel like that's where they would want to get the confidence and get the boost. But for Spurs to have to rely on trying to avoid relegation for those players to wake up, that
Yeah,
uh,
boy.
that
That's
just
scary.
crazy. That in itself is just shambolic.
Yeah, as we look to close on this game, I'm gonna just leave one of you all give a little closing thought, and then we'll give the two players we want to put towards the team of the week. Shows anything you want to say on either one of these teams? Both, neither, anything?
I think if Richarlison was a half competent striker, Liverpool would have definitely lost this game by like 3 or 4 goals. But other than that, none really.
You know, it's so funny, right? Like, just so irrelevant, but most people probably would have thought going into this year, when I say year, the 25
Season.
26 season, that Richarlison is going to be the stick on nine for Brazil, right? Watch how now, there is a legit conversation now between João Pedro, Richarlison, because he's been the nine for however long, Igor Thiago. You're like, there is actual convo now of like who going to be the nine for Brazil coming up this summer. Like, we really, I don't think Brazil releases squad. I saw that they has a preliminary squad with Neymar is in it, which is I don't know if anybody watched any Santos clips recently, guys, but let me just say my body type and Neymar body type looking a little similar. Right? That is all I would say. Brandon, anything you want to say before we go on to you?
Nah, I don't have anything to say on this game.
Virgil, anything?
No, not to say.
That's the thing, boy. Like ultimately, I'll be sorry. Like I know that until Spurs get relegated, they still considered Big Six, right? And so like this had to be the headline game coming to this weekend, but yet somehow, despite it being a draw and being not really that beneficial to both, probably more Spurs than Liverpool, it still felt like such a nothing game, which is so disappointing, boy. All right, let me ask you a hypothetical then, and then we'll come off the game, right? There's many who, I know, Brandon, I did not come up with this myself, right? There's many who think that this season for Soboslai is like what Willian had in the 50-60 season for Chelsea, where he started out amongst the whole team underperforming. Do you all think that there are similarities between the two?
And William was going to host that free kicks
I
last
know I say
season.
Willian scored real free kicks last season too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. I
Yeah,
could see the
yeah.
comparison.
Or they feel
Yeah, I
that
can see
being
it.
harsh, because the thing is, right, and again, like Willian always was a good player for Chelsea. But that was the year that he was great now. But like he just went back to being good after that. In fact, the next year when they all won the league, Pedro took his spot. Pedro became the starting winger. So like then that would be saying like does Sobosai regress next season? But I mean the way Vert's going is like like dog. I know I literally say he's gonna come off this game, boy. But I really don't think it's astounding how like we walk past some things with this Liverpool side. Like, all right, Isak injured, he can't do anything to defend himself at this point. And the thing is, like, he didn't even get injured by something that he injury prone about. Like, dog, a man literally break his leg. But Wirtz's play, and it does feel like he's going to do absolutely nothing in it. Like every time, dog, it does feel like he's very busy doing a whole lot of nothing. I know it's funny. He cut a ball across the box for Rio, right? And if he had scored, I promise all you, we'd see a set of comps. And I know this is how the game is, right? This is just how it is, right? We get a whole set of comps about how Verse got assists, he football rating was green, blah, 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 blah. And we go down the road, so, right? But no, I watching the game and I was like, so I really, and I know inflation is what it is, but I just can't believe this is 116 million this give you now, you know? Like, nah, boy. Like,
I kind of feeling like he should have just gone City.
yeah, boy. At this point, then, because like, dog, the irony is that if you had tell me purely on performances, forget stats, purely performances. If you had tell me that City had paid 115 for Turkey and that Liverpool had played 35 for Verts, 40 whatever it is for Verts, I don't believe you. Because the quality of performances is more in line with that. I sure Virgil wanted to mash up his screen this weekend when Turkey didn't start. And then he literal first contribution when he come on was a setup half.
Yep.
Like, but that is what star talent this dude, that is what star players this do. I can't tell you that Verse has created a chance that is begging the attacker to finish. That like all the work is done for him. And I feel like I've seen Turkey do that multiple times. And I know like Pep has his own concerns with the plan or whatever. But like talent wise now, you know. But yeah, sorry, I really didn't mean to go there, but that is just kind of where I end up. All right, cool. So let me get two
Another
players.
Bundesliga player.
Yeah, another Bundesliga player. Oh boy. Right. Two players from this game, guys. I feel like it'll be rude not to put Richarlison, given
Yeah.
how funny all this end up being, but I'm willing to hear out suggestions because I need two. Has to be two.
I was gonna
It
say
doesn't have to
Soboslai and
be.
Allison.
Allison did keep them in the game for quite a long time, to be
Yeah,
fair.
Yeah.
But I
that's
feel
why
like
I
it
don't
has
agree
some
with
keepers. I
Richarlison.
keep clean
It's
sheets
a
this weekend. You
throwaway.
know?
Yeah, I'm gonna
But
say have better keepers. I think this game
Yeah,
is
it's
Yeah.
fair.
yeah.
who did I think was good boy? I thought I was gonna say
I thought Sar was
San
pretty good too,
yeah, I thought
Yeah, like
San
he eats
Richarlison
up
was
the
probably
middle
the
of
two best.
okay.
Oh,
All I want to
but
put
if you want to put
Soboslai,
someone,
I
if
ain't
you want to
mind
put
against
Soboslai, I thought
Soboslai.
Soboslai was good too. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
And you know why I like to pick Soboslai, right? Because he play right back in this game again, it means I can be flexible, and if we need to put him there, we can put him there. All right, cool. Next up in the race for the top four was a clash between two teams chasing the top four. I mean, all in all, I say top four, I mean top five, you know. But hey, I mean, the way English teams go to Europe, they might crash that way for sure, you know. So, you never know.
now keep saying top
True.
five, bro. Some teams might
The,
need it, bro. Like
the,
you know,
the, the truth is,
fair
guys,
change,
the
fair change, fair
coefficient, the
change.
coefficient gone way too far. I actually asked somebody who know how this thing does work. They say if each English side crashes out now, it is still safe. It might end up looking close in the end, but it'll still be safe. So incredible. But was Aston Villa versus Manchester United? The first half I thought was pretty even, but as we've seen so much times this season, set piece opened up the game for United. Then it was Ross Barkley of all men equalizing for Aston Villa amidst what was a horrendous performance by Watkins. Less said, the better performance by Morgan Rogers. Then Bruno Fernandes with a fantastic pass to Cunha before Sesko wrapped it up in the end. And once again, the tried and tested theory goes, once United plays once a week, they win. And that continues to be the case. Brandon, what you had to say about Carrick getting his 8th win, according to you, in 11 games? I didn't
Nah,
actually
it's
fact
actually
check
seven.
that,
I
but
think it's seven. Nah, it's 7 and 9.
yeah,
It's 7
because
and
I
9.
was like, bro, he coached so many games already. But to be fair, he
Yeah.
had a while. But yeah, what you thought about the game?
I thought United was good in the first half. And I didn't think, bro. Honestly, I don't know what has happened. I don't want to start with United. What on earth has happened to Villa? Like
Yeah, well,
people, I know all they just say everything about Emery, and I see this every year and whatever. But bro, I don't understand. Like I don't know if Emery just tell them something that has just put them in a nervous state where they just can't do anything. Like I just don't get it at all. Like Morgan Rogers is a shadow of the player he was a few months ago. Watkins looked like he's fallen off a cliff. Like he just doesn't seem like the player he was before.
well, can I
And
tell you what I think it
defensively,
is? Like this is just
if you're
my
going to say
opinion, right?
Emery, I might as well just spare me the time.
No, not that.
Bad
Is
evening.
that I don't. I think that a lot of their winning run, a lot of it is that I think something that Unai Emery is actually very good at is inspiring individuals to like perform at the highest. Like I think like you've seen that throughout his career. And like even with us, right? The one season that Lacazette looked respectable was under this man now, right? And I think like he's very very good at getting players to hit their max levels now, boy. It's more a question of sustaining it now. And I think I look at these players, not so much Watkins, because I also think like with Watkins, bro, he looks like he's hit one physical wall. Like he can't get past. Like I see this man size of Maguire 1v1, and no joke, all Maguire look faster than the man in the moment. Like that is how bad it looking. But I do think like Rogers is the example of he hit a wall confidence wise now. Like I am seeing Rodgers try to dribble these men. And it's like there's no actual conviction in these actions to get done. I think a lot of these players hit some mental wall that okay, they hit this winning run and they was winning for 11 games straight, whatever it was. And now that it isn't flowing as easily, there's this block in them when it comes to that final, to them actually making anything happen. Because there is no conviction that it is going to actually come off now. Right? And you're looking at the players that should be the main characters in this side, the Watkins, the Rogers, and they aren't able to convert those moments moments that is you see them convert before. And when those fellas don't step up, then you ask yourself, who going to be a hero? Who going to be the one to step up first now? And then you're asking that of Tommy Abraham, when these guys, and like with all due respect to them, when you see that the tried and tested talisman of the last 2 years not doing it, and all of a sudden on these men, and they're not pulling it off. And it just isn't. And it's so funny. Because guess what, guys? All you want to know was the one English side that won last week in Europe was Villa. You want to know who was the player who scored? Was Ollie Watkins. If you told me that and you just showed me his performances in the Premier League last week, I would have never guessed that man actually did score. Because he doesn't look anywhere close to it. He's falling over the ball. He can't actually run at players anymore. And these players are so swiped of confidence, bro. Like, I actually don't think it's that surprising talking out loud about it that Barkley was the one who scored, just because he hasn't played enough to feel like he don't have it in him. You know, if that make any sense, I hope this making some coherence as well, Brandon. Sorry to cut you, but go ahead.
No, no, I am. I fully understand what you say. Like, I think you're right about the physical wall, like with Watkins. I don't know about the rest of it though. Like, I don't know if there's a mental wall, a mental block on the creativity in the team, because it just seems very it's so it's so lackluster sometimes, boy, and it's real hard to watch too. On the flip side though, I want to say that um shout out to the Amarim stands, because this game was for you. Bruno Fernandez, bro. I think, like, I've seen a lot of discourse today, and I'm not really gonna go into it because I think it's still a little early to say all those things. But
I was going to ask
the
about it
man,
though.
well, we'll get to that point.
Yeah.
But the difference from when he was playing under Amarim to how he is under Carrick,
Yeah,
and it's
bro.
just a simple change of position and role. The man is one of the best players in the league. Like, it is
Yeah.
not even debatable. Like,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
give him the conditions for him to thrive, which is how he has always played well in every single season that he's played well, where he has been given the license to thrive, at United, at Sporting, like that is when, like, the constant team. And when you're doing that, boy, the man is incredible. The pass for Cunha was great, like, and I feel like I don't know what you are, but I really think he's gonna break the record. I really do. I think it's in danger.
I think you should
Yeah.
stop. Out of respect.
Nah, I think he could break it too. I can't really, I do think that this playing ones that we think is actually helping them a lot now, boy. Virgil, I know you have a lot of love for United. You know, this is obviously a great run that they are on, and it does seem like they're gonna make top four. So let me ask you then: if you was in United hands, Virgil, would you keep Michael Carrick?
Well, you know, the United board love the easy way, so it's working right now. So for them, I feel like if they don't have to go out and look for any other manager or whatever, they have Carrick. Seems as a this is an honor for Carrick. To get other managers that'll come in and try to demand more of the club and try to impose their way, their philosophy on the entire club. That's not what United want. United want somebody like Carrick who will come, be like, all right, thank you for this opportunity. Let's try and bring United back to glory days. If it works out, it would make the board look like geniuses. So
Yeah.
you know that the board is going to do it. I personally, I want them to stay because I know every single time United does this, it always ends up one way. So
Bro, it's
I
crazy
have
that
no
like
problem.
I can't shake the fact that it does entirely feel like when Ollie was there, like it does feel the exact same way now. Like. And funny enough, it was then said that Bruno was trying. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Shells, yeah, anything I told you I wanted to say on this game before I ask a tongue in cheek question?
No, I think everybody can do a really good job summarizing. Not gonna
Cool.
lie to
Let
not
me
gonna lie
ask
to you.
then. The idea was floated today of Bruno Fernandez being the winner of the PFA Player of the Year. Do you all think that not being nominated, because I do think that he should be nominated, but do you all think that let me provide this scenario for you, all right? That he does, let me say he equals the record, so he gets 20 assists. Let me say I think he have 9 goals and assists in open play this season. United, they get a pen in our island. So let me say they got pen. Let me say he gets up to 10 goals, 20 assists, right? And they do finish third. But like obviously, let me say Arsenal going to win the league and stuff like that, right? Do you all think that he should win the PFA Player of the Year, given that scenario?
Who's starting this one?
No, I feel like if you have these stats there, when it comes to the Premier League, they'll just love
Dog,
to.
I know you're not gonna hit me no stats in it though. I
No,
know
I
you're
just
not gonna tell me that. This
I
man,
think
see Phil Foden lift a PFA Player of the Year. Saka had more stats on this man, but because this man score a set from outside the box, never to be done before, never to be done again, ever apparently. Go ahead now. You tell me about stats now. Go ahead.
nah.
No, go ahead. No, go
Obviously,
ahead. Go ahead.
at that point, we talking about record being break. If our record
I
is
say
broken or
equalize.
equal,
I say
oh yeah, if our
equalize. See,
record is
equalize
equal,
Henry and KDB record.
yeah, and well, even too, right
To
now,
be
I think
fair though,
he think,
I being so for real, if he does that, and I do think at this point that he will, because outside of him playing good, I do think the men around him are very good finishers. On top of the fact that Casemiro apparently is a magnet on these set pieces.
yeah,
Big up Casemiro by the way, because he actually would have been somebody out of playing the team when they this. But it's just it's a real hard record to break, boy, because like it is be even when KDB do it, dog, it literally take him the last day of the season to get the 20th one, right? It is be so dependent on other men doing what he's supposed to do.
yeah.
Because look, Sesko was true on goal today, and he hit the corner flag. Like that
Yeah.
does think. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Nah, just and also too, I think he also break the United record.
So
with
yeah,
Beckham.
so
Yeah,
this is
Beckham.
the most assists a United player has had in a single season since all the way back to when David Beckham was playing for United back in 1999-2000 season. He had 15 that year. Bruno now has 16.
Wasn't even alive that year.
yeah.
Gosh,
I feel like if you're looking for any other player, yeah, I don't feel like anybody else you could say that is a serious threat. If he does that, is a serious threat.
Shares, what do you think?
I still think if Arsenal do win the league, I think it will go to Arsenal player. Who that would be, I don't know, because
So that would be tough, boy.
Arsenal ain't playing the most attractive football where there's one guy that's obviously standing out. But I think if Arsenal get over the line, I think it'll go to Arsenal player. If I had to put money on one, it'd probably be Gabriel.
You want to hit
But
your next stat Shares? I know you probably won't know this because ultimately he's a La Liga fan. But no, not anything. He's a La Liga fan.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
52% of the time, the PFA Player of the Year winner has not won the league.
Really, fairs.
Yeah, so it's actually gone more the other way than towards the winner.
Fairs.
Brandon.
I don't know if he should win PFA Player of the Year. He would definitely be a candidate. If he breaks the record, I think that will take him a lot higher. I think him breaking the record, like, more importantly, moves us to a different conversation rather than PFA Player of the Year. But I guess if it happens, we'll get to that conversation.
Excuse. Yeah.
And as I say, the majority of the time, the player of the season doesn't win the league. And even the majority is a very, very, very close amount, and you could tell from like many seasons before, just by watching some of the players, like for example, like Bale, Suarez, seasons like that. But I don't think Bruno's entire season has been like so outstanding to say, well, you know what,
Yeah.
like he was the best player of the season. Like I think like when you look at some of those other seasons where players are having incredible seasons, like they had it for the majority of the season and consistently enough for you to remember that, yeah, they were performing over a lengthy period of time. Because there was a time where Bruno was not performing in the season. And I think
Yeah.
everybody will be able to remember
Bro,
that.
the irony is that before Carrick came in, there was a large online section of their fan base was saying to sell the man. That was admits that yes, he obviously had assists at that point. The assistants started coming on the 17th of January, right? But like there's a large subset that said that he was playing really poorly, right? Being real dog, as of right now, obviously it's yet to determine like what goes on in the season. There's two factors to take in here. One is that the voting actually goes on somewhere around now. because the voting is happening in March for whatever reason. Because again, right, somebody that does always think if it is that you're voting something based on a season, bro, nobody going
Wait till
to
the season,
care
bro.
if you had to wait a week for these things. Wait for the season to done. Because like these things matter. Like these things matter. I don't care. Don't think the last day matters, right? The other thing is that, as Ships pointed out, Aston football has been reliant on certain players, and most of them are defensive players. But truthfully, I tweeted this out today. I think that based on how the media works and stuff like that, I do think that Rice would be the candidate that Arsenal would have pushed forward the most. My personal opinion is though, and like I know Brandon said Gabriel, and I think he probably more shocked to hear that I disagree with it. But like I actually would have had Saliba as my first choice.
Nah, you don't
Because
you don't believe that, bro.
nah,
I know you
I
don't believe
do.
that. You don't
However,
believe that.
However,
You don't believe
however, I do also know how these things work now. It's like about moments and stuff like that. And ultimately, Gabriel had more moments because obviously he scores more now. But I do think Saliba has been the best defender in the league by head and shoulders above. Right? I think he's been better than Gabriel.
This
I think,
season.
yeah, I do. I really do. I
Mm,
think like I've seen more moments from Gabriel being shaky than Saliba. Amidst was obviously a very high level from the two. But the three of them is the three men out of half hour though. And any one of them win it, I'll be content with. As Brandon said, the season did not start in January, bro. And these men performing at a ridiculously high level since game week 1. Come forward. And so, they mentioned getting flowers for it though. I mean, another person who isn't being mentioned here, right? I know we said a few weeks ago, I know this week is probably not the best week to bring this up. It's Semenyo because he's having an excellent season and then went to City, kept that form going. And we go on to about City and the attackers just now. If it wasn't for Semenyo, they probably wouldn't be in the title race still. Or they still wouldn't be a title race rather. Because of his goals and contributions. So all those things to consider. This is the question, guys. You know, if all you have answers, just feel free to let us know in the comments below. That being said though, the way I picked two players from this, and I'm going to assume we was going to pick Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. But your Clement Volley was somebody else besides them two.
yeah, I could take I wouldn't mind taking either one. Like both of them, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, I can see both of them.
You
I
could
We
thought
are
the
probably
given
same
take
two.
for
Cunha if you're
Cunha.
feeling like it
Yeah,
because
I was about to say
Cunha was
put
really
some
good.
Cunha. Yeah.
All right, you know what, dog? Let me put Cunha in. No problem.
I
No
think that
problem.
Casemiro has made the team a good few times.
He does. He had made the team a few times. You
Man,
know who
download the
hasn't made
Thiago
the
Silva
team?
box
Uncle
present,
God.
bro.
Yeah.
Uncle God. Good to
Real.
see.
You know who? You know what I find super funny? Friend of the show, Laz Bouzidi. Um, Online propping that Bruno to win PFA Player of the Year. Mind you, up until a few weeks ago, this man was discrediting set pieces. A proper that man who 10 out of the 16 assists he have come from corners. But say, you know what, why? There's always be when it is to your own benefit. So, you know what, bro? I understand the shamelessness. I understand, bro. And because I know you the steal ideas from our podcast, I know you're going to see this too. So, with that being said, you know who hasn't made it to the team of the week so far? Anthony Gordon. But he did get on the score sheet at Stamford Bridge this weekend. And so, Brandon, it's been a rough week for you. Yeah, and we'll get into the other reason why it was a rough week later on. Wesley Fofana is somebody that's and is here real talk about online, really and truly. What was his handle again? Like is hustle hard something so like
Something
something so right, you know. You could do a little more hustle and bustle on the field, really and truly.
probably professional jogger. Maybe that's his handle.
Yeah. Because I don't feel like the urgency in his game at all, like, especially when somebody like
Should
Joe
say
will
you'll
not
be
run it off
speeding
for
when
you
you're
now, boy.
driving.
You know. But Brandon, yeah, how are you feeling? What was your thoughts on the game?
Bro, no red cards in 2 games, bro. We moving up, bro.
Progress,
We are
progress,
moving up in the bro.
progress.
But on a serious note, we have conceded 4 goals without reply. Over the last in the last 2 games. Since between the 3 goals against PSG and then this goal against Newcastle. I always find it hard to take losses like this because when you're in a fight like this for the Champions League places, not scoring I think is one of the most unforgivable things because
Yeah.
we trying to win now, boy. Like if you're not able to score, I think that's a real big red flag, like moving forward, because that's the one thing you have to achieve. Like the clean sheet and thing is whatever. The draws isn't good enough at this point in the season. I feel also like Rosinia sometimes he just doesn't make sense to me. Like I'm not getting on
Like
his
he
back or
don't
anything, but like
manage the situation well.
no, like he spent the whole press conference before the game talking about how we've signed Reece and he's the best right back in the world, then proceeds to play him in midfield. And I just don't find that make any sense. Like the man has been fit, he's been very, available. Like play him on the right. Let's play the midfielders that we have. Let's play the
I
midfielders that we
saw,
have in the
I'm
midfield.
sorry, boy. But no, you're right, that's a very confusing message to send.
Like we've just secured one of the best, probably the best player in his position with his right back. Play him in midfield. Yeah, normal scene, bro. Um,
I know
and
it has
I think,
somebody
but
you
again,
really want to talk about, but I don't know if you can talk about it.
well, yeah, I don't know if I really want to, but
That's
but I will. You could probably ask somebody else and get their opinion because people have heard my opinion on it before. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. But the only thing is that I do want to say is that I feel like at the end of the season, I feel Maresca will be looked at even more
funny.
positively
Yeah.
than he is right now,
Yeah, yeah.
because some of the things that you've been seeing happening since Rosinia has come in, I it's not looking very positive. So when we get to the Champions League, we'll talk more about it as well. But yeah, it's not looking very positive.
Shebs, was your thoughts on Bruno Fernandez, right? Him and Bruno. Was your thoughts on Cole
Um,
Palmer?
Cole Palmer, oh, right, I love him. He's one of the Premier League players I really do love, but he's been appalling to say at least recently. I really hope that one season he was really good isn't like a flash in the pan kind of thing, because I'm a big fan of him, but it's not looking good. I think part of that is on Rosinha, but at the same time too, I don't think Chelsea could get very far with the centre backs they have right now. I think the full backs are really good, but they can't go anywhere with Chalobah being a starter. I was talking to somebody about that during the game. I don't think they're going for Chalobah as a week in, week out starter. And Fafana, like always say, he
When you say
should show
something to
more aggression on
somebody,
the
you're talking
pitch.
to Callis.
Nah. I have more than
Okay.
like a group of friends,
A
but yeah,
handful of friends.
Gang's all
yeah.
here.
Uh, Virgil, as a City Academy product, what's your thoughts on Cole Palmer current form, bro? Is he just not being platformed well enough? Because that is what we hear it all the time. It's not his fault. He not platformed well. Blah 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 blah. So.
It's something with Palmer is it's very similar image wise to you want to compare it with Olise, but Olise behind the exterior. Olise really gives like probably like 110%. Like he has that skill and he does it.
Yeah.
Palmer, we have seen before, like when he now came in, Palmer being the main man and everything. Yeah, so you want to move forward and say build a team around Palmer. But when it comes to being the main man for a team, there's a lot more than just scoring the goals. Is out they need a lot more than that when things are not going good, when struggling to create chances, when have to raise the heads and the level of players around here. And sometimes it seems that Palmer just operates like he operates like, well, everybody might be looking at him and be like, well, why are you looking at me for? Like I here to play football like everybody else. It's like I don't
Well,
I it's like I don't care for
what?
this responsibility. So I just sometimes and even for sometimes games too, you'll see a lot of times they find Palmer. And then sometimes I just feel like he's the one who's messed up the attack the most. He will slow down the
yeah.
play. He'll hold on to the ball too long, and then it just messes up a lot of things. So I feel like
Dog,
yeah,
ultimately,
I don't want to
if you had
criticize him. I don't want to criticize him too heavy, but yeah, it's just
if you had
not
tell
looking
me
good.
before the game that I'm going to guarantee you that I'm going to get your best chances to your best players to make the difference in a game, before the game, I'd bite your hand off for that because the trust has to be that their best players go in and execute in their best in their areas for the best moments, right? If it consistently not coming off for him right now, boy, that is, and I am aware that there is an injury that he's struggling with, but like as Brandon said before, right? If it is that he playing so bad with the injury, just don't play him because it is becoming a net
Mm-hmm.
negative at this point. So, Brandon, I'm gonna ask you this, and then after this, I'm gonna make you choose your Newcastle player, and then we can move off this. Because apparently, like, dog, I'm so sorry, but it isn't even. I mean, this game was going on while my game was going on, so I didn't watch it, right? But like, the Newcastle even had nothing to play for, which is the most shambolic part of all this. In fact, I thought they might have even rotate for this weekend because they can't get relegated, but they can't get Europe. So I just thought they might have just screw with this game, right? Would you start Cole Palmer on Tuesday?
The funny thing is that they did rotate, John. That's actually the funny part. But you couldn't tell because it's Newcastle. But the I just boy, I don't know. I think like if Rafinha didn't start him, everybody would say, "Well, what the hell are you doing?" So like, isn't a lose-lose situation because I don't know if if you need to score goals and win the game, benching Palmer definitely is not the answer. So he'll probably have to play. The only
But
problem is that
let
I
me
don't
tell you how
and
I
the only
watched it.
thing. Go ahead.
It had a little lag there, though, and I thought you had stopped talking. Sorry.
No, no, it's okay.
How I watching it, bro? I think I know Joe Pedro obviously has been good these last few months, but in terms of all this season, you can tell him Faro. Guy's an outsider, right? I think Enzo Fernandez has been one of the best players this season, and I would want to put him in the best positions to make the most difference. And I'm thinking if we could get the most out of him, put runners around him, put Joe Pedro ahead of him, and or they get that goal early, maybe only get two goals early, and you bring on Palmer in a situation where the momentum is with all you. Maybe that might be the right environment to get him back on track where the environment is already flowing for you all. And that he could join in rather than he had to be the person to create that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I just think like I just know for a fact he's not going to be benched because I know that we need him, but I understand exactly what you're saying because that is good. That would be a good strategy, but it's just that like Palmer, he's been having a bad day for a good while, and I think when I say a bad day, like I don't think his overall play has been terrible. Like he just droppable immediately. I just think like in the key moments he's not making the right decisions and he's not playing up to the level that he has been. That's literally all it is. But apart from that, like I'm sure he will start, and I hope that he will have a good day that day because the good days have been long gone for a while.
You're gonna put Gordon in because I'm being real. I don't know how much attackers we really gonna get into this team. It might end up being a back five kind of weekend.
For real. Well, I mean, I was gonna take, I don't know, maybe Livramento. I think would probably be the only player I would want to take. I don't know if anybody else watched the game, but
I watched Pizza. There was who's the midfielder again? Forget his name.
Bullock, Murphy.
Murphy. Yeah, he was. I think he was alright.
Guys, all you're going on kill me here with this 11. This was the weekend I think had the most clean sheets in the Prem this season so far. And all you're going to make me. Well, cool, you got to
Yeah.
play on top of yourself. That is all.
Nah, bro, how you could forget Bane himself? He should go up top.
Yeah, he coming in soon. He coming in soon.
Mm.
All right, so we're going with Livramento then. All right, no problem. I can live with Livra. I can live with Livra.
Man, Vexy got defender after asking for defenders.
Right, cool. Well, Virgil is the last person to talk about here. And so I was telling Prada this before we started recording, right? There was this comp going around that Arsenal had conceded like 19 goals from like two expected over the last season and a half, right? Well, this stretch well, he started last season, right? Of these ridiculous outfield goals. And if I tell you, I just watch these games and we don't concede no chances, isn't it? Mendes just scored the one slight opening against us sometimes, and like I so like pilled that I just want the clean sheet. Like, I have no idea how badly I just want to keep clean sheets. So I was like, when Ben scored these one random chances, it has upset me. Virtually last time Ole played the Premier League, right? Ole played the same time with us, right? So I couldn't watch the game, right? I had it on football behind on the next screen. This weekend, Virgil, I a little superstitious and I was like, okay, well, that'll work. I know they drop points. I'm going to watch all your football. Because I refuse to actually watch all you know, because I can't go. No, that's me agonizing. Virgil, I am following along this game of football all year. And I don't know if you can see this, right? Football does have momentum bars. I don't see that momentum shifting to Burgundy at all for the whole game. And when you scroll along, dog, these buggers had one shot for the whole game. And Virgil, I can't lie, right?
Clinical.
That must be real sour. You know, make it even funnier. Former Arsenal defender Constantinos Mavropanos is the one who scored it. He also, guys, if I didn't see it, that brother take a bullet to the face.
Yeah, he
That
couldn't
when
shot.
you watch that, the ball actually joined his face, dog. Like, commitment to the cause, guys.
Yeah,
So,
Look, Ship showing it right there. He literally sent that to me.
that is ridiculous. But,
Ugh.
Virgil, before I say what I
No,
want to
man,
say, I'm gonna ask you how you're feeling. By the end of how you tell me how you're feeling, you're going and tell me if you're ready to wave a white flag. But go ahead.
Most of my rant falls on the UCL game. This is more of a like a we go into this game and trying to see where the players heads at, because after the UCL game the locker room wasn't looking too good, but from this game you go against West Ham, we know how things play out against Forest. You're expecting for a good bounce back. And honestly, boy, I really don't know. I really cannot make sense. Hey, okay. I can't defend it too. I really can't defend it either. I can't defend it. I try my best to make sense of that. But honestly, from that,
No, I just Googled Foden crying. Why is there so much pictures of this one crying? Sorry. No,
nah,
it was vented. I am very sorry. I wouldn't want you to do me
um,
that. So go ahead.
the only thing from this game specifically, when it comes to tactics of this ball man that I really can't make sense of sometimes, right? It's of sometimes he has these tactics where he plays tacticians and he plays runners. He sometimes shines the best when he mixes tacticians and runners. In this game, he tried his best to play some runners as tacticians, and it really made no sense,
Right.
because in what world you will have somebody who is, I would say, your best player, the most creative person, just hold the bench.
Correct.
And next game where even down to Afel, you show there Foden, who is really good in tight spaces, these tacticians, you also have him on the bench, and he is persistent in having attacking mid Semenyo and winger Nico Riley. It just makes no sense. You have the man, this man
yeah, we don't laugh.
have that tough season. But yes,
Tough season. Tough season. Virgil.
tough two
Virgil.
seasons.
Right. Okay.
Tough 2 seasons. But yes, honestly, if I'm to sit here, if somebody just tell me, okay, well, what you feel Pep was trying to do this game, I really can't. I really can't say anything, because
Yeah.
in moments you're seeing Aid Nuri as an inverted when he's the best player to have out wide. Then next minute you're seeing Rodri left alone on an island, but you also want Rodri to push forward and join the attack. Then you have Bernardo Silva as the furthest option right, when you have actual wingers on the bench. You can bring on the players who better. And all these players are doing is just playing the sideways passes, playing back passes, and nobody contributing to your attack. You have Erling Haaland, who is just struggling on top. So All I must say is, if I'm to sit down and watch that,
Uh huh.
and if I'm to sit down and watch that, and expected to get up and move from my TV and see 3 points, I must be a madman. I must be a madman if I sit down and watch that. I literally can't make sense of it. Pep literally come. The only thing I want to say, Pep. Only thing I want to say again, Pep came out and said to everybody, the fans, the fans are the ones who looking at this. Pep come out and say, playing Doku, Haaland, and Cherki, how he did throughout the season, how he did early in the season. The team is not balanced when he has Doku, Haaland, and Cherki as the front three.
Right.
Mind you, we went on a run and we won 9 games. It makes no sense. We won games playing that front three, and now he says it makes no sense to play Doku, Haaland. So what he decides to do, keep Haaland, who is not scoring, bench Doku, bench Cherki. I really can't sit down and make sense of this anymore. I can't. I really can't.
Yeah. Bro, if I'll be completely honest, I think that because there's obviously people who don't want to see Arsenal win the league, that and like so as a result, people have thrown their support behind Manchester City, that they have ignored a lot of the issues that we have been seeing with City throughout the season. So, for context, in 2026, Manchester City has thrown away a 2-0 lead versus Tottenham, a 1-0 lead, and 2-1 leads against Nottingham Forest, a 1-0 lead against each of West Ham, Brighton, and Chelsea. They've scored 3 second half goals, conceded 11, and in 12 league games, no sub has scored since August 16th. Now, if I had to tell you all that goal that happened on August 16th, you know what goal that was? That was Ryan Chicky coming on to score the fourth goal in a 4-0 win against Wolves, right? For even further context, losses so far this season, Arsenal with 3, the second least in Europe. Manchester City have 8, the joint fourth least in Europe. That is over twice the amount. Also, Erling Haaland has 1 open play goal in the last 12 league games. And lastly, in 2026, Phil Foden, my boy, has 0 goals in the last 15 games. Jeremy Doku has 0 goals in 12 games. Erling Haaland has 4 goals in 17 games. And Ryan Cherky has 4 goals in the last 20 games. And I think that again, that there's this image, and a lot of these players, and I actually don't include Haaland in this, and I know he's gonna get stick, and to some extent, right, because there are games that he is missing chances, right? And when it is that things are going this bad, there is no space to say like, oh well, he's doing all this scoring, whatever, whatever, whatever. At some point, somebody had to start to carry the water, right? But a lot of these players are still being given the grace that was built up by iterations of City before, and escaping criticism because they are still under that City umbrella. Like Virgil, I told you this 3 months ago, dog. The man that I have feared the most at Manchester City is that ginger outer timing brother who is now in Naples, dog. Now that he is no longer here, dog, these men don't have the venom that brother had when they come to bringing me misery. And that is the thing. That ultimately, that conviction, that level, that drag your team over the line, dog, these men not giving you that now, boy. And the thing is that we'll come and talk about Arsenal and style of play and whatever, whatever. And we can just continue to disregard what's the current state of this league and how so many teams need set pieces to open them up and whatever. That dog, this season's scoring is the hardest it has been in a very long time, and it's about finding a way by hook or by crook to get that score sheet going. And people may not like the way that we've done it, but guess what, dog? Your job as a manager is to find a solution to what the opposition can give you. The fellas that Pep has relied on, Virgil, to get that going, has not. And again, if we was to sit here without Semenyo winner against Leeds, without Semenyo assists for Nico O'Reilly against Newcastle, his goal also against Wolves to make it comfortable, the goal against Fulham, and it had some other game that he also contributed to. Where would you be? You know, where if they didn't go and buy him in January, where would you have been? You know? And again, I just think a lot of these players escaping criticism now, boy. You know? Like we start of the season, talk about Doku playing really good. They finally started playing together. One goal whole season. Max Dawman just equalized that, bro. Like that is the territory we sitting on here.
Hey,
So Brandon, I
and
expect.
even
Oh, good.
well,
No, good.
yeah, all I want to say, and even too when you talking about the style of play with respect to like other teams in league too. Even before, because trust me, I've been saying from early in the season that some need to change with Pep and his tactics because they they was labeling Pep's tactics as okay, well, Pep had a the it's still in transition because a lot of these players are not really up to speed. A lot of the players looking at how players in the past were. You see a lot of these players are not as technically smart as players before. If Pep knows this and Pep is trying to play this brand of smart football, then you are losing a lot to dumb football. So at this point, I really feel it has something to say. I feel like this smart football is not really that smart because
Yeah.
these players are not getting it. It makes no sense, and we do everything to try and carve out these things to go a couple minutes after and get outdone by a set piece that we have been talking about and saying is ruining the league.
Mind you,
Clearly,
he
it's
went
working.
out and signed a shot stopper specialist. Switch over from the keeper that can play the ball in the feet, be the shot stopper. And this man, Virgil. Dog, I'm not joking, Virgil. Obviously, we playing on the next week, dog, and I could end up like biting all. I gotta eat it, they will lose, and all that, dog. But, dog, if we don't score at least one set piece against this man, dog, I going and lose it, innit? Because for
Hmm.
somebody who's 6'8", God alone know how he can lose a GPS to know where to be in the box. So God alone knows, dog. And it happened in the whole season, you know. Dog, I remember they beat Bournemouth 3-1. You know how they scored the one? This brother come out those the shit front goal again, dog.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know, dog. But Brandon, I know you're gonna tell me that I'm overdoing it and I'm wrong. So please tell me all the ways that I am wrong.
Well, this will be a short conversation, I guess. Um, um, so I don't think you're wrong about anything. I do want to say something though. About at the cost of sounding like a tactical. Um, I think I think
Just
I
tell them
think
I'm gonna get the whiteboard.
I
What is it?
think you don't have the JLA board yet, boy.
Nah. I did free one, but I
Uh,
don't have it up right now.
I just think that if you I think one of the hallmark of City teams when they were at their best, I think was the out of possession work done by a lot of their players, even if they had specific rules to be good out of possession. I feel this season you're really seeing that flaw in the team. I don't think they have a lot of players who are good out of possession. And even the players who they have had that were good out of possession, like Rodri, for example, I don't think he's been up to standard in that respect. I think
Yeah.
that's where they've lost their way for the entire season. I think I've like finally settled on that being the reason because the transition problem has been there for the entire season, and I feel like they just the out of possession stuff is because they're good on the ball, right? They retain possession well, they create chances, they're able to win back the ball and and move it around very quickly once they have it. But other than that, like going up for headers for set pieces, defending corners, they just getting hits on the break and stuff like that. It's been real poor from them, boy. And that's the only thing I could really say, and I really want to add before, because I don't like them out of possession at all, but I don't trust them out of possession at all.
This is the most I ever hear you say out of possession in my life, though.
I
I
know, right?
cannot believe it. But yeah, bro, I think that's a big downfall to it too, boy. And like a lot of the creation that they do is regain high and go back and attack and make something happen right now. We're just not seeing that happening right now. And so, Virgil, you didn't get to answer the question I asked you before. So, are you waving the white flag, or do you think it's still there?
Well, remember back at the Liverpool game, I said if we lose this Liverpool game, it's over, and I felt that
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have make it. I think that would have make it 7, if I believe, or
If you all
11.
lost, it would have made it 8.
Yeah, it would have been like, yeah, around that, it would have been 8. And then the players went and proved me wrong and said, okay, drag me back and said, yeah, we're back in the title race. And then they went, and since the Liverpool game, they literally disregard that whole Liverpool game. Everything that they did after it just made everything that happened at Liverpool game just went away. So from that game, I literally felt that if we will lose that game, that was it. We went on and did,
Yeah.
and did the worst. Best way I just lose Liverpool game. That's how I felt. Best way I just lose the Liverpool game. So right now, yes, you want to say, mathematically it's still there, whatever. But it's not about the point gap, really. I felt like I saw a fight around that time for the Liverpool game. Right now, I literally feel like I don't know where the fight going to come from. Because the players
Um,
that you look for is not being played, they're on the bench. And as Brandon did mention, out of possession is just terrible to watch. So I feel
on
like they should do
average,
yourself
right?
a favor.
On average, what time you just get up on a Sunday?
Dog, hey, I will be in my bed, and I know I'll be hearing my phone ringing, and I'll just be like, hey,
Oh please!
Virgil gonna change the locks on all.
I
Gonna
have
change the locks on all
everybody
his.
number in Virgil house dog. I don't need Virgil number to let me in dog. I promise you that day in May Virgil, you're going to wake up. You're going to come outside half a week to make coffee, and you're going to see me sit down in the kitchen dog.
yeah, hey, I making sure mommy make good food. We will sit down and live, we will sit down and enjoy the Sunday.
Hey, look, Virgil just talk. Look, guys. On the spot, actually, it's the format because we're going real long, right? And we have to talk about Champions League, right? So we're gonna talk about the Arsenal game. Everybody talk title race real fast, and then I was sorry, shares we not even gonna talk about the fact that they went 4-1 this weekend, and
That's
we're gonna
fine,
go
bro.
straight to
That's fine.
Champions League after, right? Yeah. So as Ships has pointed out, that Gyökeres come off the bench, and the irony is, we just spoke about that Pep only has one player that scored off the bench so far this season. Arsenal has had 11 goals scored off the bench so far this season, 2 of which came this weekend with Max Stout. Like, this man telling me about Gyökeres, but like, you feel like what to care about that one, right? Max Dawman, 15 years old, guys, became the youngest ever goal scorer in Premier League history this weekend. Where admittedly, Jordan Pickford, I be sorry with all that. I don't know why he come up for that corner. You know? Like, I see coming up there. And that looked like a man who had the ego bruised by the way that he conceded the goal. I said, oh, but let me go and try and make amends now. But like, that is exactly what it looked like. God knows what he got up for. But I mean, the way that man play, he could have been a goal. He might have still scored now. Boy. And ultimately, look, I know that obviously scoring late paints a picture. I don't think second half was all that fast. But I actually really enjoyed how we did play first half. Very unfortunate to get a penalty. I don't know how. Because Keane using 2 hands to push over Kai Havertz. That's what it is. But we didn't get a pen for that. But late in the game, Max Dawman inspired cross led to the Gyökeres empty net to tap in where Pickford abandoned the net. And then late in the game, Max Dawman ran the whole length of the field to score the second one. And I mean, bro, it was an amazing moment. And Virgil was talking about the Liverpool game there. And us as fans and the truth is the players will never tell us this, right? But these players, like in a title race, your title competitors' games are just as important as yours. And what happens in their games affects how you think now. And I don't think it's a surprise that we drop points to Brentford, we drop points to Wolves very soon after that Liverpool versus City game. Because there's pressure in these moments, there's obviously pressure, and even more so we'll be feeling pressure because we never won it before. Bro, I can't quantify this, but I don't think it is that detached from one another that we saw an actual picture of Erling Haaland watching alone the Arsenal Everton game. I would have seen the late goals that Arsenal scored to get the points where they probably was going to the West Ham game thinking, okay, Everton might hold this out. Everton might allow us to get back in our hands. And that late moment had such a swing, bro. And I thought some players did have a good game. I did think Declan Rice had a fantastic game. I thought Eze had a really, really, really good game. And showed the kind of impetus that I've been asking whoever starts an attacking midfield to show. Dog, it doesn't matter if things go in for us. Dog, pick up the ball, try and do something. Is he fed Kai for what was the penalty shot? He took a lot of shots that Pickford did well to save. And all in all, dog, we kept going at them. I mean, like this last week, Patrick said that, it's so easy to just block up against Arsenal, but ultimately Arsenal have more goals than any English team in all competitions this season. I believe we have the most goals in the Premier League as well. And I think something that we have done that is underrated, because sometimes it comes by set pieces or otherwise, is that we do build up pressure and do build momentum and keep going at teams that does cause them to make mistakes, break under pressure, and we do eventually score. And yeah, though, gap is 9 points. Game in hand. So in my head, 6 points.
6 points.
I don't care. It's 6 points. Because until they actually play Palace, and I see it with my own eyes, that Malangzar hold up a Jay-Z after he scored a hat-trick, I am not believing it until I actually see it. It is 6 points. Right? But I can't not sit down here with I think we have 7 games, so obviously City have a game more than
8.
us.
Yeah.
Why is it taking forever to load? But I can't pretend I'm not extraordinarily excited, bro. And I mean, a moment like that for a kid, I mean, John Terry posted that he's the English Messi. Now, the part that confused me is not the comparison, because, the dribbling, tiny, whatever. The Chelsea game was going on the same time as the Arsenal game. How he knew that is how the man was playing like that. Right? But an amazing moment for him. And you all know how I feel about Saka. He's obviously not having the best season. He had a terrible night against Leverkusen. Like, literally the worst game I've ever seen him play in my life. Absolute worst. Because like, even when Saka isn't scoring, I think he's such a making his voice good. He does dribble his player, stuff like that. I saw some of this week, but he's not having the best season. But dog, man, bro, I really don't want to go way too far yet. But dog, every single time this man plays, what is absolutely mind blowing that we have him. And I would tell you, Brandon has floated the idea to me before of like why Saka don't play left wing for England and these kind of things. Why? For the kind of player that I think could force Saka to move off the right wing, I think it's somebody that should be worse at Arsenal, where I think this is Saka's club until it isn't. I think Dortmund has that kind of talent that might have him learn another position. I mean, we see we started play attacking midfield. He actually played there this today when Dortmund came on. So yeah, floor is open, guys. Title race, Arsenal, anything. Every time I see floor is open, I always wait for somebody else to start. So let me just call it out. Chefs, go first, and then we start off captains.
Yeah, I think Arsenal did what they needed to do, keep the title race going, keep the charge going. Yeah, it was getting kind of ropey, and moments like this is what really defines the season, because you can look back at this if Everton were to hold you guys and say, was that the moment where it was all lost? But like I said, Max Dalman, he came on, he changed the game. One moment for him, breaking the record of the youngest. A lot of records got broken this week. For the youngest goal scorer. And yeah, it's just a shame that he seems to need to unlock the pace package, because when I see him breaking away for that second goal, if anybody had some pace in the back there, he was getting catch. But other than that, great story for the guy. And if that's the story that ends up, helping Arsenal cross the line, what a story for him for after all these years of finishing second. This is the guy that, helped all across the line at the end.
Brandon.
Well, I just want to just remind you to make sure you call Jordan Pickford to let him know he invited to the parade.
Yeah,
Because
but
I
don't
still
worry.
want to know where
Yep,
I
yep.
still want to know where the hell he was going for the first for the cross from
My
Dalman.
goodness.
Like I still don't know what the hell he was doing. And then
Yeah.
hey, oh, listen to this now, boy. This man went up for a corner, right? In the last minute to try and win a header to try and score a goal. And then proceeds to pull out of a header against Martinelli, which leads to Dorman getting the ball and running while you still in the opposition box, wondering should I have gone for that header? Like, well done, Jordan Pickford. I hope Thomas Tuchel was looking at you. I hope so.
Virgil.
Yeah, well, I mean, what more I could add? I feel like, yeah, I feel like football is a movie. Things right now, this movie is going really good for Arsenal. I was talking about the title race and everything. Yeah, yeah. I feel like everybody else is just making this terrible. Everybody else is making this terrible right now.
All right, guys, cool. So I think we can leave it there. Let me talk about the Champions League fast because we up against a hard stop in like 10 minutes. Sorry, guys, we make it wait so long. I really didn't think we would talk so much about them other things there, but here we are. All right, cool. So let me get the easy ones out of the way. All right, the ones the truth is, guys, we're just not gonna talk about that much. So
Don't
pick
you
up
dare.
Bodo Glimt,
Oh,
what 3-0 host and Sporting. Their fairy tale continues. I mean, we all said last week we thought that they was gonna win the first leg, and it's just a case of they repeating what they do at the San Siro. And I mean, candidly, I can't see them not doing it. The fairy tale continues for them. Also,
Mm,
Atalanta.
yeah.
Come now, they join me now, boy.
Well, isn't he 16
Oh,
years
yeah,
supposed to start and goal for Bayern?
Peace out, boy. Come now.
No, he's
No,
16 years start and goal for Bayern, bro. Hey, I've seen crazier things happen.
you're right. I have seen crazy things happen. This is not it. Dog, they're
Yeah.
not.
dog, when I see Nicholas Jackson end up in goal, bro, it is gonna be all
Yeah.
over, bro.
And the other one was that Let's Go mashup Tottenham 5-2. We all thought it was going to happen. It going to happen. However, that
And
Tottenham
it's
result was part of what was a terrible week for English clubs. So let me start with the first one. Gala winning 1-0 against Liverpool. All those who think Osimhen goal should have started.
yeah, that's what I stand.
Why was it disallowed again? I forgot.
Foul or
Somebody
something?
who was not in who interrupted Konate's actions was offside.
Oh,
And
right,
because
right,
he was
right, right,
standing
right, right,
offside,
right.
they called out. I find out that Mineral gave away that. However, this is me. Given what I saw Galatasaray do despite winning 5-2 against Juventus, I have less than zero confidence in them actually seeing this through. Now don't get me wrong,
Really?
Liverpool was not good that day. They wasn't even good today. But given how catastrophically bad Galatasaray are away from home, I still think by a very small margin Liverpool will manage to turn this around and the ball man keeps his job. Again,
Really?
well, I think he
I don't think so.
it's
No.
still an easy thing. But because I need to do some little structure so that we could let ships get out of here in a reasonable time. Brandon, what are you
Ah, bro,
thinking
that's fine. You could,
about this
I
game?
can leave late.
And then, yeah, what are you thinking for this week?
Um, I honestly think that Liverpool they're gonna draw the next game. I think Gala will go through. If I'm being honest, because I can't see again, bro. I just don't trust them. I can't.
I
I
don't.
can't in my soul trust them. And who gonna score at this
That well, I'm
point?
not gonna say right. We talk. I'm talking like who going to be the hero for them now, boy? And it's like,
So was like
Someone's
that's
life
one
free
goal.
kick,
yeah,
37 minutes.
that's really it.
I don't
Like
have
I was
anything else to say, but that
yeah,
game was
but like
a red ball.
I don't know. I mean, Van Dijk have a knack for scoring in these kind of games. You know, if he has set piece, he did score to be fair, but it come off Konate hand, which I think was rightfully called. Chivs, what are you thinking?
I actually agree with Brandon. I think Liverpool might score, but just the defense today showed me that I don't think they could see or hold on when a team's attacking them with everything they got. So I think the game might finish like 1-1 and Gala goes through.
Hey, Virgil.
Yeah, because I was looking at the factor where on in Anfield Galatasaray would have no fans. They can't have any
Yes, that
fans.
is correct.
So I thought that'd be a factor, but again, when I'm looking at Liverpool and just the way how Galatasaray is playing, how the intensity, shout out to that it's Gabriel Sarah. I feel like
Dog, he was insane,
Yeah.
bro.
I
Also,
feel like
guys, for
yeah,
context, since the last time that since the Anfield night where they beat Barca 4-0, Liverpool have only won one Champions League game at Anfield in knockout since then. One.
yeah.
So this Anfield night thing is
Yeah,
actually opposite of what I think it is.
yeah, that really gonna make sense. But yeah, I feel like when looking at Liverpool, we're talking about the whole in this type of game when the midfield battle. Hey, Galatasaray have that intensity in the midfield. Defense looks good, looks solid, and they have that strike force. I really feel it will be close, but I feel like Galatasaray with it.
Only because I say that and stick with it there, but The more they talk, the truth is that I discredit Gala because they went into a game leading 5-2. And I do understand that it's a hard game to try and figure out how to manage if to defend
Choose
it.
your words very carefully, my friend. Some of us have to deal with that.
But like, bro, Juventus went up to 10 men and somehow and like Juventus almost won it still, dog. Like I just think it's scary, dog. Frankfurt, who did not even qualify for the playoffs, beat Gala 5-1, all because it was at Frankfurt. Like their way form is just atrocious now. Way. And so I don't know how, why, I don't know who. It might be real scoring a hat trick. I don't know. I'm gonna say that they're gonna go through. I'm gonna say that they will get by somehow. I can't even tell you who, but they're gonna get by somehow. Cool. Next game up we have is no, we all Atletico. They true, right? Yeah, we all
Oh
right.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Newcastle versus Barca. Now we all saw the game. We all saw Anthony Langa.
Troy.
No, I didn't pause. I was just saying all the things that he did right in the game. That is what I was doing. Guy, man, dog. It's like I was watching him versus City all over again. This man, bro. Oh my god, it's hot trash in it. But they wouldn't go 1-0 up. And if it wasn't for a nice bit of trickery, admittedly, in the end by Olmo, they would have been down in this league. Newcastle would have been up. Going into this, my mind says that Barca are going to go through, and my prediction is that Barca are going to go through it. However, entertain all the boy a little bit now. Anthony Gordon gave my early goal, and let me just see what Barca made of, and let me see where it go from there. Because the truth is, all the issues that Newcastle pose Barca at any home, like I still see all of those things being true, and this time Anthony Gordon will start. So let me see where they go from there. Now, for now, I still can't say Barca will go through it, but let me see. We go again. Shivs, you go first.
Yeah, Anthony Gordon with a brace and Dan Burn to put the ice on the cake on a 3-1
You know,
win.
last week when he started
Newcastle.
talking like that, he said 3-1 to Real last week, and he ended up being very right.
Hey,
You know
never
what?
doubt me, bro. Never doubt me. Never doubt me. But I think Newcastle gonna smash them and go through very easily.
That's your real prediction.
Yeah, 3-1 Newcastle.
Fair enough. Virgil,
Yeah, before the tie, I was saying that I feel like Barca going through. I feel like everybody underestimates Barca. I feel like in Barca is a team that will turn up. But honestly, well, it's still be close, But Newcastle do look more of the threat. Honestly, they do look like more of the threat. But I feel that giving up that late penalty and bringing it even, going back to the Camp Nou, I feel like Barcelona find a way to pull out that win.
Brandon.
Well, all you know, I love a good story. So I'm gonna take exactly what Shiv said because I think that was gonna happen anyway. But
Good boy.
this game will be remembered for Lewandowski rolling back the years when he gonna score a hat trick. So it'll be 3-3, and it'll go to pens.
Ooh. Who misses the
Who's
pin?
they going Tron pens?
Aaron Ramsdale to win the penalty shootout.
If I could have kissed you through this
He's done
monitor.
that himself.
Dog, the thing is, again, I stick with what I say, It's just, I have more faith in Barca executing mistakes from Newcastle than seeing Langa run through again and again and again and again and again. And the thing is, I thought Lewis Hall, I think we all agree, had a fantastic game against your man in the first leg.
Yeah.
I'll be very amazed if he does repeat it. So, we'll see what happens. Cool. Next up is the first game of the next day. It was Arsenal at Leverkusen, right? Bro, Leverkusen employed the nastiest deep blog I see since the last time we played Sunderland, right? Fair play to them. They made it very hard. And as I said, the best player had his worst game. That man lost the ball 14 times. I went and checked. He has never lost the ball so much in a game where he didn't play more than 60 minutes. It was the worst performance I ever see from him. If you can guarantee me though, that man get that much touches in any game going forward, I am fairly certain that we going on win. However, credit to them what they do. They fuck do we own thing. Could it's called for set piece too. Madueke bought a penalty. Now there was contact,
At cost price.
but as I said before, that is one of them that the referee give it and there was contact. So far, I was never going to overrule it. But it's not one of them that I think that if he didn't give it, that VAR would have called him back fit. I don't think that would be the case. I think all things considered, I do.
That's one of those where it can't be a pen and not a pen at the same time.
Yeah. I do think our draw was fair though, because the truth is, dog, at the same time, Bayern just defend, and we hit the ball kind of thing though, Martinelli. I know we talk about. So this one is grind my gears. Honest to God, I never had an old player that does have. Like, despite what you think, Brandon, I actually like this fella, but that's really conflicted part of it because this bugger dog. If all he could just give me 4 games for the rest of the season where Martinelli could score his first chance, all it was the happiest John ever dog in the world. This man need to get and you know what's the funny thing, eh? We go play Wigan, and this is a proven thing because we did play Wigan. He gave first chance there. Man, score left foot cross the box thing. This man. Anyways, whatever. However, I do think going into this, I do think that they will make it difficult again. But I do think that in the end I will see it through. I don't think it's gonna be pretty. But I do think I don't think we get past them in the end. And I thought Kai was really good against Everton in the first half. And if I could get him and Eze to keep building on that relationship, and Saka too, because they had some really nice combination play. Yeah, keep that going, bro. And Gyökeres off the bench. I know, I ain't give the man no praise for scoring the goal that literally win me the game, And it's because, I also know should have scored that goal. Anybody should have scored that goal. But him coming off the bench when the games get more stretch is a way better solution than this man just stand up and a block that can't offer nothing. So all right, reverse order. Virgil, what do you think?
First I want to give a lot of credit to Leverkusen because, and I feel like also we are give a little talk about the Prem and, not just the fact that all of them, then nobody get a win, but the Prem is accustomed to a certain type of standard, a certain type of playing style, and then they kind of will rudely awaken when they see teams outside Europe don't really fear that and they don't respect that, and if they want to play that dirty type of game, they could employ that and get the best of them. So even look like
not everybody swallow 3 goals.
Hey,
unlike you, I don't lose a real, right? Please.
Wow. Well, that I had my prediction. I will change it at the end. But anyway, but you have to give credit to the physicality they had. That midfield, I shout out Palacios and even though I think once even had a good game too, and even Endrich, even though he, apart from the goal he scored, I feel like the physicality was there. Like they were just breaking up plays. So, but it's the Emirates. I feel like Arsenal. It's not gonna be pretty. I feel like Arsenal, will tap back into the dark arts. So set pieces will be the man match for this game.
Says the man who the only reason he got a point versus Forest is because he scored a corner where they was wrestling with the keeper too.
Hey, that's it. That what the premise about right now. The premise about dumb football. So I feel like yeah, Arsenal.
Arsenal win after extra time.
Nice. Chefs.
Bane with a brace. Ready to say first.
This man, dog. You like him way more than I do, apparently. Oh, cool. Nice. Next up. Wow. Which one? Let's touch our first, boy. Let me leave Brandon for last. Brandon! Boy, I messaged Brandon after this game. I wanted to tell him I felt very sorry for him because, truthfully, if this game had end 3-3, I would have told you that would be a very fair result based on what went on. One night I left home at 3-2 and kept checking the score and saw 5. I was in utter disbelief given how this game was. It was completely intense, but it was generally a case of one team being extraordinarily clinical with their moments and showing high quality in those moments, mixed with some keeper errors. Like no mistake with that. They mixed with some keeper errors, and another team not taking the opportunities. I mean, Chelsea had way more XG than PSG did, and I think nothing for me encapsulated the game more than on one end of the field. They had a really good cut back to Palmer. It was saved by the keeper a bit easily. And on the other end, literally went up the field. Dembele went and recreated his goal against Tottenham for Barca a few years ago. And that's how the game went. So, Brandon, I'm going to let you go first, boy. Thoughts and then what are you thinking? Actually, I go last. Actually, I go last. All right, well, let me tell you what I thinking, Brandon. My gut is one of all your City going come back, right? And you know what, why Brandon? In spirit of London together because of them points to go in and take off a City from after the international break. I think he going and drop Palmer to the bench. I think Enzo is going to get a brace at some point. No, I don't know how. And I think all the force this game is extra time we go to pens. I do think that you'll get a 3-goal margin somehow. I do. Because I really think all get at them. And I don't know how they didn't score at least 3. And then from that game, they say where it go. And I don't know why. I've seen all it make comebacks against PSG in particular before, boy. And I think all they're going to do. I know that given all the performance against Newcastle, I should have no faith in it happening. But I do. Might be blind. Not might. It is blind. But I have faith in it. Shivs, what do you think?
I'll keep my thoughts short. Going back to the Palmer thing, I think Palmer is one of those players that delivers in the big moments, so I think he should start this game. I think he's going to get a hat-trick, but I think Chelsea defense a little too leaky to keep PSG out, so I think the game will finish like 3-2 Chelsea, but PSG will still go on at the end of the day.
Virgil.
Yeah, I just want to put some questions out for Brandon to give me some answers to, because when it was 3-2, why Chelsea didn't want to settle for this 3-2? And then when it was 4-2, why Chelsea didn't want to settle for 4-2? Why did it end up being 5?
Well,
What?
the 4-2 is a hospital pass that this man played into the middle of the midfield that just wasn't controllable, and for lack of a better word. So that was just self-destruct number 2, and then self-destruct number. I think at the end, I think we were trying to make it 4-3, which would have been more respectable. But I still think 4-2 was way more respectable, and it was a more reasonable scoreline. And the fact that they just ran with like 5 men against 2 of our defenders was just it was just so frustrating to watch. Boy, it really was.
But I feel the game goes to extra time. I feel Chelsea will look good, but I feel PSG will still edge it at the end of the game.
Brandon.
Unfortunately, I don't think there'll be any extra time. I think we win the game 4-2, and they go through on aggregate.
Palmer hat-trick.
Three how we predict extra time, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, I honestly don't think I think most of the Chelsea results are hopeful for Chelsea.
It is.
I don't think anybody realistically think we're gonna win by 3 goals. If we concede twice, we're gonna win by 5, right?
I'm not saying no at all, but the year that Real win the Champions League with Benzema was scoring hat-trick after
Which
hat-trick.
one?
He scored the hat-trick in the bridge where they win 4, where I think Real won 4-1, 3-1. I think Kai scored that or something.
Yeah. I think it was Mount.
And then the flip fixture, you all went 3-0 up in Real Dog. And I just think like I've seen you all do this already now, boy. You know, like I've seen you all that when it looked like it should not be probable that you managed to pull it out, boy. And I know, dog. I could be wrong. I could be wrong now, but that's where my heart is. And lastly, we have Real versus City. And I'm gonna tell all this over, dog. Purely because of title race politics. I have real emotions towards City, you know. When I see this game unfold, I die laughing, you know, because the game started off. I say Doku gonna cook Trent the way he started off there. He started off hot, I think. But Virgil, I do think Doku is better than the man, eh? But dog, I just see Doku and I just see Madueke, boy, and I just see two different sides of the same coin and these very frustrating dribblers. They'll get past their man in a dog. But you have no idea what gonna happen with the ball after that,
Yeah,
dog.
man.
I have no idea. And
It is shoot or pass, and then they decide to dribble more.
big up Courtois. I won't lie all you. He reaching some kind of scary conversations for me in my head. And I
Nah,
really,
he's top two.
For
He's top
sure
two.
he'll do black magic, bro. For
Have
sure
to.
he'll do
I'll
black
be.
magic.
I really don't know
Nah,
if
nah,
I'm being,
never.
I don't know if I'm being reactionary though, but like, dog, you see, like this
Dog,
one,
Courtois
only
has been in those conversations for a while.
nah, dog. I'm not talking about like I talk about all time, bro. Like this one show he whole camera roll, talking Lord, he
Whoopsie,
God, man.
whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. We go again. We go again.
Dog, by the only thing against Courtois is like he obviously Belgium never do anything that way, but like, dog, this one Neuer for sure, right? Is
Yeah,
Neuer.
no, he's number one. Because
After that, dog, I like the earlier. My hands might be up. I might be up because this brother keep pulling out. Dog, you know what it is, though? Even last year when we played them, this brother make like 3 different double save, and I'm like, dog, this man will crack or something. What is wrong with this man? The one with Nico O'Reilly, he had no right saving that. How does he save that?
Black magic, bro. They have
No, he's just him.
no,
He's just him.
no,
He's just
they
him.
And it's
pulled his
himself.
leg.
He's
And
just
it's
him.
himself. Assist the goal for Fede Valverde for the first one. And all this propaganda, Courtois, dog. Fede, dog, Shivs, I think I tell you this in the week, dog. I think that man called Florentino Perez, he'll quicker sell Vinny, sell Mbappe, sell God, Jules, sell whoever. He will never sell Fede, dog. And I
Never.
completely understand why, dog. Aside from that hat trick,
beat
that
the
man
team.
had a fantastic game. With a hat trick, dog. That man touched the thing and past Nico O'Reilly, who, for God knows what, why Pep played Nico O'Reilly a left back after playing midfield for the last how many weeks? Why would you change it up? And then Donnarumma,
He came out and then pull up.
Bro,
nobody
bro,
pull out. That is what I
Bro,
don't
The
understand.
man
bro, he
literally
didn't
see the
realize that he
line.
had retractable arms now, bro. Like, he just unlocked that feature. He just went, shoot.
And he pulled out of it. And dog, even Ruben Diaz. Dog, I'm watching this goal unfold. And Ruben Diaz, like slightly running back towards goal. And I'm like,
It
why
happened
you
in
not
slow
busting
motion.
out that dog? Like he could not.
Mhm.
I honestly think he could not reach back. Like the
Mhm.
way that man was running, he didn't reach back. Then his second goal happened, and the third goal, why? A partner of mine tell me, he had started to see white because he thought it was Crew Alexandra he was playing. Dog, he wanted to know what's going on here. And he chipped the man and score. And big up for the Valverde. He also scored again this weekend, by the way. Fantastic goal as they won 4-1. And Real Madrid. Sheriffs, I did tell you it was going to win, though. I did tell you that I had faith that it was going to win. And fair enough, it does look like it's out of hand. Virgil, I must say, I'll come to you last because you obviously have the hardest assignment here. For me, I do think we'll try to make a game of it, but it comes down entirely to me like how fast all they score. And like I'm not talking about like in the first half hour. I actually think all they need is scoring like the first 20 minutes to get this shit going though, because you're going to go through that period where Courtois is going to go insane. You had a high enough time to outright that to then still try to score 2 count on the dregs. But I really don't see that. I think all they win on the day, but I don't see it as being enough. Brandon,
I'm gonna go 2-1 City.
anything to add to that at all? I know I kind of cover everything, but
Boy, honestly, well, the wild card and all this is that Mbappe is potentially back, right? So this could be make or break for everything.
I watch Shiv's worried. Shiv's saying
Yeah.
Correct.
But I mean, I can't see City having such a good game without Real Madrid being very poor, and that is the only recipe I think that City could go through it, where they play exceptionally well and Real just have an absolute terrible game.
Bro,
That's the only way I see it going
at
through.
the same time, dog, Real City have nothing to lose in it. Like, dog, go there and try to attack them, dog.
Yeah, but dog, Real 3-0 up. Neither do they.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is now is like, Pep was like, as Virgil just said, like Pep have these concerns about playing Cherokee, Doku, and Haaland together. Dog. Don't forget them concerns. Go there,
Yeah, play
go
all of
get
them.
at them,
Yeah.
and see what you got now, boy.
If I
Sure.
was Pep Dog, I would play Nico Gonzalez and Rodri and just and just play attackers.
Yeah,
And just
yeah.
like that's
Serious.
it. Like play four attackers.
Shows.
Yeah, well, like I said last week, the game plan still is this. Just hope and pray that Thibaut Courtois could bail us out of trouble yet again. But I do think it does come down to whether or not Mbappe does start, because if you looked at the game this weekend, Friendship FC is definitely back and swinging, and we don't need him to come stinking up the vibes again. So if he starts on the bench, which was the latest report that I saw before starting this, we should be good. Because even if we go down, it's a good emergency card to bring out to help drag us back across the line. But yeah, I think we'll get done. 2-1.
Bro thinks the dictator is gonna be on the bench. Yes.
You better be, for my sanity.
But yes, this is. Wait, now I feel like this is very reminiscent to when we play Liverpool in Champions League, and we get that humble in the first leg. So and also in the, I can't remember. I think it was, what was the game where Gunnar almost score. I think it's the 4-3 loss, against Liverpool basically. But yeah, as you mentioned, John, I feel like the only positive I took out of this going into the second leg is it can't get worse. So you literally
It
could
can.
you lit.
It can.
I was like, Pep literally needs to play just all attacking, let them go and say all you know what I have to do. It have no get a comfortable lead, hold it back, take it back to the Etihad. No, it is all or nothing. You go into this game all guns blazing or whatever, but
Virgil, you're more offer you a little bit of hope. I saw a little bit.
is a
The scenario of a Spanish team being 3-0 up against an English team that had a chance to make it 4, which was squandered, that then trades away in the second leg
oh
4
my
0.
god.
It has happened before. It has
John, let me
happened.
talk to you real good here, bro. Let me talk to you real good here. You see, when Vinny missed that penalty, I was having the same flashbacks. Please don't put that out there, bro, because we'll have real problems. We'll have real problems.
Dog, could you imagine? Could
Yeah.
you
I
imagine
don't
Are
want to
very
imagine. That's the
similar,
thing. I don't want to imagine.
Rodri 4-0 goal off a corner taken quickly
No, I
by
cheers.
Bernardo
You'll never
Silva?
see me again. You'll
Cheers.
never see me
Let
again.
me tell you the worst part about it. After you got had that in their whole interview, him telling them about, but we had the mentality. And like, Real, they didn't have the mentality when they came here now. Boy. And that's where but yeah, Virgil.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, you can look at it that way and say, okay, it can't get worse, just be all attacking, just go out there and try and, just create as much chance as you could. But then you're trying to say we have to, on the flip side, we have to stop Madrid from scoring. And I really cannot see us stopping Madrid from scoring. Madrid scores one, and that's it. I feel like Madrid score one, momentum is just there. So I much rather I much rather you put on a misery, because if we play like this against Bayern Munich, I will literally stop watching football. So
How is with Virgil? Obviously, you wasn't on last week. But like, I'm sure you felt not confident because it's Real, right? But like, you went into this probably feel like you all was the favorites.
yeah,
Like, how shell shocked did you feel when it hit 3-0 at halftime?
oh yeah,
I
that
know I'm talking evil here, and I promise
no
you,
no no.
I will tell you when I'm antagonizing you, like when I show up in your house wearing nothing but my boxers and sitting on your couch. But this is not our time now, boy.
I get it from that moment that the second goal happened. I'm thinking, okay, City have this type of thing where their brain is only click when they're back against the wall. And then when the third goal happened, I'm like, okay, we have our next 45 minutes. If they could do it in 45 minutes, we could. And then it just seemed like their minds were just on the Etihad. So the time is here for them to. Nothing else
Yeah.
after this. So my whole thing is, I just want to see how the players go and respond. That's it. And from the
Yeah.
moment I see that lineup, then I will know. But regardless, I feel like everything is swinging towards Madrid to go through.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, that is it there. Thank you guys so much. This has been a very long pod, but I think it has been a very good one. So I hope you guys really enjoyed. Thank you guys for your time. And yeah, we'll see you all next week where for the first time since we started this podcast, we're going to have a CFT derby in a cup final. So
Oh, yeah,
that
well,
is going to be a lot of fun to talk about afterwards for one of us. We'll see how it goes. Alright guys, thank you guys. Catch you guys next time. See you soon. Take it easy. Later.
Later, guys.